So one of the things we talk about all the time is making your mess your message. And I just went to get on my computer like 10 minutes before the call started, could not get my computer to turn on for the life of me. And was like, what the heck? And every time I kept hitting the power button, I have a Mac, so the little battery with the red bar on it kept popping up. And I was like, this makes no sense. It has literally been charging since I made a recipe today. And I pulled my laptop out to the kitchen to make the recipe, brought it back in and plugged it in. Well, apparently at some point, whenever I plugged it in, it wasn't plugged into the wall. Like it had come a little loose. So it wasn't charging in the wall. It looked like it was plugged in, but it wasn't. So I also want to point out that I have a very wet head of hair, and that's because I just showered today for the first time today, about 25 minutes ago, because we've been spending all day. Yeah, look at Christy. So, and I'm in my PJs. You don't have to know if I'm wearing undergarments or not. But the reason why I'm sharing all this is because I asked today for you to ask me questions for me to answer on the team call. Well, it hit me while I was going through all this little bit. I texted Jen real quick. I was like, can you please keep everyone entertained for a second while I figure out what's going on here? Because I could have easily said, you know what, technical difficulties, no call tonight. Oh, I haven't showered today. I've been outside all day long with my kids on the shark water slide. If you haven't seen my Instagram stories, well, don't bother looking at them from today because I hardly took any, because I just took today as a family day. But like, that's where I've been for the last 48 hours, is outside with the kids. And the last thing I wanted to do was peel myself off the couch underneath my daughter, who just fell asleep on top of me, and come get on the call. But you know what? I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm tooting everybody's horn who's on this call. I am certain that all of you had something else pulling you away or calling your attention or making you want to, like, maybe you just wanted to not do anything right now. Maybe you wanted to get in bed. Maybe you wanted to watch Netflix. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you wanted to eat ice cream and you didn't want to be on the call, but you're here. And that's my point. I am tired for good reason, because I've had so much fun the last 48 hours. I just got my first shower of the day, because why shower when you're just going to put a bunch of sunscreen on and go play all in the water? And I had to get out from underneath my daughter in order to get in here. And then on top of it, I had technical issues when I started to get in here. But I'm here. And so many of you, when I asked you today, what are the questions that you have about this business or about this team or about Beachbody in general, so many of you, the question that you always have is, how can I make this happen for me and my family? How can I turn this into more? How can I bring home the income you're bringing home? You want to know how? Getting off the couch, getting out from underneath your toddler, getting out of the shower, or just skipping the shower until after the call. Being on the call, even when you don't want to be. Showing up when it's hard to show up. Showing up when there's 25 other things you'd rather be doing, including sleep. Showing up when there's 50,000 excuses. Some of the people that sent me questions about tonight's call aren't on tonight's call. I love you. I mean it. But if you have questions, why aren't you on the call to hear the answer? So that is, I mean, I did not plan that to be part of the message tonight, but I realized as I was getting on here and I was struggling to get on here, that it was happening for a reason. It needed to be part of the message. So many times when I have a one-on-one call with someone, they're like, just tell me what I need to do. I'm telling you right now, you got to show up. Back in the day, I was looking at posts from a couple years ago, because it was like, I don't know, however many years ago, when I started rank advancing a lot, and the posts show up in your memories, and I was posting all these other people's rank advancements. And one of the things that was repeatedly said about me every time I rank advanced was, she's the most consistent person I know. That's consistency, is just showing up. It's not doing anything special. It's not having a skill that somebody else doesn't have. It's not having the perfect filter, or I don't know, people can buy, and maybe some of you do, I don't know about this, but you can buy like presets or something for your pictures so they all match on Instagram. It's not about that. It's not about having the right look or the right voice or anything. It's about showing up even when it's not easy to show up. And that's what we're doing tonight. So props to all of you who are on the call, who are here when maybe you'd rather be there. Or maybe you've been looking forward to this all week. Maybe because you have a true passion for what you're doing in your business and this is where you want to be. I promise you, being here will do nothing but propel you forward. So keep showing up, even when it's easy not to. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been saying this ever since quarantine started. Right now, time is no longer an excuse, right? I've been saying that. And I say that lovingly. Please always understand everything I say is with love. I'm a 2 and a 3 on the Enneagram scale. Come on, people. You know I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, okay? But just know that, like, right now, time is not an excuse because we're all home. Like, yeah, we've got things we got to do at home. Some of us are working and homeschooling and cleaning and cooking more meals than we ever dreamed we'd be cooking. And we've got all this stuff, right, going on, but we are home. Be real with yourself right now. How many of you have prayed for days like this? Me. How many of you have prayed for time to just stand still long enough for you to have time home with your family? Here it is, people. This has been given to you. Stop thinking of it as punishment. Start thinking of it as a gift. And when I say that, we have this tendency to treat this time as though it is a gift, which is wonderful. You should treat it that way. However, it's not Christmas. And we don't need to be living like it's the holiday season and come January 1st, we're going to get our butts in gear. We're going to eat better. We're going to wake up when our alarm goes off the first time. We're going to push play every day. We're going to do our 10 invites. We're going to show up for our power hour, right? On January 1st or on Monday, or I don't know, whatever it is you tell yourself. It's not the holidays. Yes, this time is a gift. Let's look at it as a gift, as hard as it can be sometimes. But let's not treat it like it's the holiday season and we should all come out of this holly and jolly. Let's come out of this with some more structure in our lives. Let's come out of this with some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some discipline in our lives. And one of the things that is so easy to happen in these gifts of time, like we've been given, is you have so much time on your hands that you don't actually accomplish as much as you would if you had limited time on your hands. And that's something that is a constant question in this business, is how do I manage my time? Well, right now, we've got nothing but time, right? But that can become a problem. If you are not taking control of the time you have, then you are going to find that it is super duper easy to waste time. I have recently discovered TikTok. Let me tell you all the time that you can waste on TikTok. Christy gave me a piece of advice when I first discovered TikTok. She said, set a timer. Don't allow yourself to get sucked in. She meant what she was saying. Like, she knew what she was saying. Okay. Be conscientious of how you're spending your time. Now, I'm not saying that you have to schedule every single minute of your day. maybe a rough schedule would be a good idea. I'm a pretty laid back mom. I'm like, summertime is our jam. We thrive in the summer because we love the more like slow mornings, that kind of thing in this house. But I can't live the next 6 months that way. I can't live the last 2 months that way. So I've had to create a schedule for us. And it's not as structured as it was 3 months ago when we were all going to work every day or school every day and between practice and all that. But it's a structure, it's a schedule. And some of you might need a schedule in your life. So if one of the questions that you're constantly asking yourself is, how do I manage my time? That's how you manage it. You actually have to manage your time in order to manage your time. Like, you have to say, it's just like budgeting. You have to say, this $1,000 that's coming into my account is going to go here. You have to do the same thing with your time. Like, these hours from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., they're mine. My kids aren't awake. I don't have to be working. No employer is expecting me to show up from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Those are my 2 hours. I get to pick them and tell them where to go. And I can do that ahead of time so that I know where they're going. Now, if I wait until 5 a.m. to tell them where to go, I can tell you where I'm going to tell them to go, in my bed. But if I tell myself ahead of time from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to show up and do it. Because even when it's hard, now I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are days that I fail at this. Jen Feathers can tell you because she texts me every morning before we work out. But there are some days when I'll say to her, you know what? The kids are going to stay with their dad tonight and we're all up right now, so we're going to snuggle. And I'm going to get my workout in after I drop them off. And I feel comfortable telling her that because that's my life situation. But if I tell myself from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., I'm going to do this, this, and this, there's a really good chance I'm going to wake up and make it happen, even if I'm tired. Because I told myself I was going to do it. If you're struggling with managing your time, it's time to tell your time where to go. And when you tell it where to go, you need to make sure it goes there. It's about you making sure the time goes where you want it to go. If you are struggling with what you need to do in order to be successful, then it might be time for you to visit the business activity tracker again and figure out what the vital behaviors are and make sure they're happening every day for you. It is not, again, I repeat, it is not a skill set that you have to achieve. It's not a skill set that you need to work on. There is nothing about this business that requires you to develop a skill in order to be successful. Okay? I mean, really, there's no way to beat around this bush. The people who are at the top of this company are not gifted, talented, skilled, special, more intelligent, more educated, none of that than you are. They just show up even when it's hard, even when they don't want to, even when they're tired, even when there's a lot more fun things out their back door, all that. They just show up. So I know nobody posted that question in the team page tonight, but I can't tell you how many times in 1 week, I can't tell you more than a handful of times I hear that question from the same, like at least 4 or 5 people. What do I need to do to get back on track? What do I need to do to get started again? What do I need to do to make this work for me? What do I need to do to get to the level you're at? This is what you need to do. You show up no matter what. You do the vital behaviors no matter what. You just do them, even when it sucks. And some days it sucks. You do it anyway. Some days you hear no more than you hear yes. You wake up tomorrow and do it again. Another question we got was, what have you found to be the most effective way to gain new customers? Instagram, Facebook, friends and family, etc. So this is what I have found. And I believed this in the beginning, and then I got all weird about myself, and I lacked confidence for a while and let it go for a bit, and now I'm back here again. You leave no one out. You cannot go into this thinking that there's a certain type of person who is the right customer. The reason why I've stopped talking about our avatar is because I don't believe we should have one. I believe that we have a total solution that could very easily fit anybody that comes across us, whether that be at our workplace, at the park, in a mom's group you're in, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever it is that you're doing right now. I truly believe that the total solution that we provide is something that could be wonderful for anybody. I don't think we need to have a particular person in mind. I think we need to know what our voice is, and we need to talk as though we are ourselves. I don't believe we need to try to mimic anybody else who does the same thing we do. I don't believe we need to try to be someone we're not or sound like someone we're not. But I believe that we should be talking to the majority of the people who would come across us on Facebook or Instagram or in real life, because practically anybody is going to be a good fit for what we have to offer. Now, this is what I'm going to say after that, though. Figure out what feels comfortable for you. Because for me, Facebook felt more comfortable for a real long time, so I focused all my energy there. Facebook doesn't feel so comfortable for me anymore. For personal reasons, I don't need to get into it. But what feels comfortable for me now more is Instagram and Instagram stories. I actually went live on my Instagram, or did like an IGTV or whatever it is, the other day. And while I was doing it, I thought, oh my God, this is so awkward. I am horrible at this. Put me on Instagram stories and I can talk all day long. So I really thought it would be no big deal to do an Instagram TV. I got on there and I had no freaking clue what to say. And I watched it back and I was like, wow, I would totally stop watching if this was not me. So just do you. Do what's comfortable. With that said, I guarantee you there are tons of friends and family that you have not talked to about this. I'm not saying go and like be spammy and talk to them about it right now or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, don't leave anyone out. Some people in our lives are really just waiting for an invitation. I have a friend right now who I've grown really close to. She's a coworker, and we're super close. We've done mom nights together recently, and we were just texting yesterday about the need for a night out after all this is over, because she's got twin girls at home that are one and all this. And she told me that her and her husband have started working out every single day since this quarantine started. I have never invited her, and I still haven't, even though she told me they're working out every day. And it's because she's my friend and she's my coworker, and I don't know how to approach it. So today, for the first time, we were just talking. I sent her a picture of the kids going down the water slide, and because she thought it was cool and whatever. And then I said, so what workouts have you guys been doing? She sent me the thing from Pinterest or whatever that they're doing, and I haven't talked to her about it again. Eventually, I'll get there. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't feel right for me, because it's not necessarily about effectiveness necessarily. It's more about you being true to yourself, being true to your brand, which I believe is a big part of how we share things on social media. And then making sure that your version of effective isn't about you. Your version of effective needs to be about serving the person you're speaking to. So it's really important to remember that we're here to give them their total solution. We're not here to hit Success Club. We're not here to make a sale. We're not here to hit commission. We're here to make sure that we're helping people and connecting them with the best resource for them. So I would say that. Now, I will also say, for me, yes, Sarah, that's perfect. If it doesn't feel good, then you're not going to be able to keep doing it. Things that are, I was actually thinking about this the other day too, because I've noticed my nutrition has really declined in like the last week more than normal. Just a lot of junk, bowls of cereal for breakfast instead of good sources of protein, things like that. And I started thinking about, like, back when I did the Ultimate Reset, how great it was and how my results were and all this. And then I thought, but it's not sustainable for me. Like, I can't eat like that. And then I thought about, my one girlfriend was doing keto and she was doing awesome. And she's stopped doing it and has quickly started gaining her weight back, because it's not necessarily sustainable. If it doesn't feel good inside, if it's not serving the purpose that you have been looking for, then it's not going to be something you can keep doing. So if you're doing something just to hit Success Club, like if you're doing something as a means to an end, it's probably not going to be sustainable. If I'm doing the Ultimate Reset just to lose 10 pounds, once I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to celebrate, and then I'll probably gain them back shortly after, right? Because I'm going to celebrate the fact that I hit the goal, and then I'm going to go back to life as it was. Same with the keto diet. Same with, like, for so many people, same with exercise. We have to make sure that whatever we're doing is effective for the long haul, not just for right now. So I know that's probably not an answer that really gives you an answer, but what I'm going to say is do what feels right for you. If Instagram doesn't feel natural to you and it feels really weird, I'm not saying like get off it. I'm saying maybe do what I'm doing with TikTok right now. So I joined TikTok like 4 weeks ago, never made a video. I've kind of sort of started looking at how to make a video, but I haven't invested enough time to figure out how to make a video because I'm just not there yet. I want to, like, I see other people doing cool stuff and I want to do it, but I haven't done it yet. I'm not there yet. It doesn't feel comfortable or natural yet. I felt the same way about Instagram 2 years ago, but I didn't delete my Instagram account just because I wasn't there yet. Instead, I just kind of became a spectator for a while. And then eventually I made the leap into posting more. And then I made the leap into doing stories. So that's where what I'm gonna say is, don't say you can't use a certain platform just because you've never used it before. Instead, why don't you say, I don't know if this is going to be effective for me, but I'm interested in it, so I'm gonna spend some time getting to know it first. You probably didn't marry your husband on your first date or second date, or even like the second or third month you knew him, because you didn't know if he was going to be the one, but you didn't necessarily cut him off at that point either, right? You felt it out for a while before you decided if it was going to work for you. And that's the same thing we need to do with our business. We need to approach things like they deserve some time. They deserve an investment. In order for me to figure out if this is going to work for me, I have to put in a little bit of effort here in order to see if it's going to work for me. So that's where I'm going to leave you with. Another question that we got about Instagram was, how do you find people to follow? So next week, I have an entire training for you on how to be present on social media in a non-Beachbody way. I'm super excited about it. And I really, truly believe that this is the way you need to be finding people to connect with on social media. You need to stop focusing on all the hashtags and all the things that are Beachbody. For example, healthy eating, before and after, weight loss journey, all those kinds of things. I'm not saying they're not important, but when you click on one of those hashtags, how many coach accounts do you have to scroll through before you find one that is not a coach? or that is not already doing Weight Watchers or keto or Orange Theory or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Instead, think of all the things that you do. Because guys, there's 24 hours in a day. 30 minutes of those hours you spend exercising. Let's say on a good day, 8 of those hours you spend sleeping. Let's say on a really good day, another one of those hours you spend working your business. So there goes 10 hours, okay? You've still got 14 hours left in your day. What are you doing? Do not try to tell me you're doing Beachbody and weight loss and healthy eating and meal prepping and exercising for 14 hours a day, because you're lying, okay? Instead, figure out what makes you tick. For at least, I'll even say maybe you worked out for an hour, so give yourself another hour. So for 13 hours a day, what are you doing? Are you watching Netflix? Then figure out who else is watching the same show you're watching on Netflix. Are you teaching? Are you homeschooling? Are you teaching from a distance as a public school teacher? Are you putting up inflatable water slides in your backyard? Are you looking through the bargain finds on Amazon? Are you crocheting? Are you knitting? Are you sewing? Are you reading? I mean, guys, for the majority of your day, you are not exercising. For the majority of your day, you are not eating. So what are you doing? Figure it out and connect with people through those things, because you are spending the majority of your day doing what makes you happy and fulfilled, whether it be through work, through play, through family, through serving, through whatever it is that you do for the majority of your day. That is how you connect with people. You don't connect with people by sharing a sweaty selfie and using the hashtag, postpartum mom. I mean, yeah, you're going to meet people that way. But the majority of your day isn't focused on the fact that you're trying to lose your postpartum baby weight. The majority of your day is on the fact that you are trying to figure out, am I supposed to give my kids sweet potatoes or green peas first when I give them real food? Like, those are the things that help you connect with people. Those are the things that are going to give you ideas for hashtags. I mean, I can't even think about all the things that I could be doing. Like, one thing I really wish Amazon would do right now, and I've been searching all sorts of hashtags and accounts for it, is like quarantine Amazon finds. Like, someone needs to put all the cool stuff they're finding on Amazon in one place so I can go buy it all, okay? Because that's what I want to do right now. Like, I want a bunch of crap to put in my backyard and be cool, okay? So someone needs to tell me what to do, where to go and buy all that stuff. No one's doing that yet. So that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. Like, don't spend forever. Like, one of the things Jackie said in her comment was, I feel like I spend forever on Instagram and I get minimal to nothing done. Then you're not doing the right thing. And I know that may not feel like it helps you, but if you, like, when I'm on TikTok, I'm getting nothing done. Like, but I know that going into TikTok, like, I have no game plan there right now. I'm figuring it out. Okay. So when I spend time on there, I make sure, like Christy warned me, I only watch like 5 videos in a row and then I put the phone down, because otherwise I could watch 50 videos and look up and be like, oh dang, I guess I better make my kids something to eat because it's lunchtime. But in reality, like, that's just what can happen. And the same thing can happen on Instagram. Like, you find a hashtag and it's like, I don't know how many of us did the whole use painter's tape to like mark out all these geometric shapes and then have your kids either paint or do chalk on it, right? That probably came from a hashtag or a Pinterest post or something that we saw. So figure out who else did that and talk to those moms. Like, what are you doing next? Kind of thing. Like, that's how you connect with people. Figure out what you're doing for the 14 hours or 13 hours in your day. God, I'll even just say 10, okay? I'll give you 3 free hours. Do what you want with them. For 10 hours a day, what are you doing? Figure it out. Write it down. Like, what do you do for these 10 hours? Is it really stressful being home with your kids? Write it down. I'm sure there's a hashtag for that. I mean, not every mom in America is happy to be home with their kids right now, y'all. It's just life. And the ones that are happy aren't happy every day. So look up a hashtag for it or create one. I'm sure other parents out there are going to relate to you. But figure out what you're doing with those 10 hours and then go from there. And again, next week on Sunday, I have a training for you. I've been working with Rachel Baldwin. If you guys don't know who Rachel Baldwin is, look her up because she is fantastic about showing up on social media in a non-Beachbody way, and on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. She's a mom of 2. She was a teacher. She has a really cute Michigan accent. She's really, really good at showing up in a non-Beachbody way. Like, I would say 95% of her clients come from other things. They don't come from her talking about her postpartum weight loss or her before after pictures or anything like that. What I would say is that most of them come from the 10 hours a day that she's not spending working out, working her business, or sleeping. So show up for that. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the call, keep showing up, because the best way to make this business work is to show up no matter what. I love you guys. Have a great week, and I hope to see you tomorrow to play bingo. I am super excited about the prizes.